Once upon a time, in a small, forgotten village nestled between rolling hills and dense, emerald forests, lived a gentle young woman named Elena. The villagers often spoke of her kindness and gentle spirit, her heart as open as the azure sky. One of the village elders once said, "Elena's heart is a well of compassion, and her soul a beacon of light." Elena's home was a quaint cottage at the edge of the village. It stood near a crystal-clear brook that sang a serene lullaby as it traversed through the forest. She lived with her elderly father, Tomas, a former blacksmith whose hands were now worn and shaky. Despite the hardships life had presented them, the bond between Elena and her father was unbreakable, their love for one another shining brightly like stars in an otherwise dark sky one late autumn afternoon, as the trees shed their golden leaves. Elena ventured deeper into the forest than she ever had before. The forest, with its towering trees and whispering winds, had always felt like an extension of her heart, a place where she found solace and inspiration. But on this particular day, she stumbled upon an ancient oak, its twisted branches forming an intricate web against the sky. At the base of the oak, Elena noticed a frail, gray figure hunched over. It was an old woman with hair like silver threads and eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of countless lifetimes. "Child," the old woman murmured in a voice that quivered like a leaf in the breeze, "I am in need of your kindness." Elena was taken aback. Though she didn't believe in magic or fairy tales, the sincerity in the old woman's eyes was undeniable. After a moment's thought, she replied, "I wish for my father to be strong and healthy again, unburdened by his age." The old woman nodded and whispered an incantation that echoed through the forest like the songs of 1,000 birds. She then vanished, leaving only the memory of her presence and the hope that perhaps, just perhaps, magic was real. When Elena returned home, she found her father standing tall and robust by the fireplace, his hands steady and his eyes twinkling with vigor. Tears of joy streamed down her face as she embraced him, overwhelmed with gratitude. It seemed like a miracle, the fulfillment of her fervent wish. Days turned into weeks, and Tomas's newfound strength brought great joy to their lives. But as winter's chill began to creep upon the village, Elena noticed an unexplainable weariness settling deep within her own bones. Her once radiant energy began to wane, and her walks in the forest grew shorter and less frequent. The villagers, who once relied on her remedies, began to notice the change. They whispered among themselves, worried and confused by Elena's declining health. Even Tomas, despite his renewed strength, couldn't help but fret over his daughter's condition. The light that had always surrounded Elena seemed to dim with each passing day. One night, as the first snowflakes of winter kissed the earth, Elena dreamt of the old woman by the ancient oak. In her dream, the old woman spoke with a voice as soft as a wind. "Every act of selflessness demands a price, dear child. Your wish has been granted, but the cost has been your vitality." Elena awoke with a heavy heart, understanding the truth of the old woman's words. Her father's health had been restored at the expense of her own. Knowing this, she chose not to burden her father with the truth, instead cherishing each moment they had left together. As the days grew shorter and colder, Elena's strength continued to fade. One cold winter morning, she passed away quietly in her sleep, a peaceful smile on her face, content in the knowledge that her father was healthy once more. The village mourned the loss of their beloved healer, their hearts heavy with sorrow. Tomas, though grief-stricken, vowed to honor his daughter's memory by continuing her work. He learned the art of healing from the villagers and dedicated the rest of his life to helping others, a tribute to Elena's unyielding compassion and selflessness. Years passed, and the story of Elena's sacrifice became a cherished legend in the village. The old oak in the forest grew even grander, its branches seeming to reach for the heavens. And on still nights, when the moonlight danced upon the brook, the villagers swore they could hear Elena's gentle laughter carried on the wind, a reminder of the love that had once bound father and daughter so deeply.